Welcome back. Remember, all our top stories can be found on our website. That's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. Besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an eyewitness feature. We'd like to encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. Economists have been analyzing the new legislation proposed by the Cross River State's governor to protect street hawkers by legalizing their existence, or their services, if you will. It is said that if passed into law, the State House of Assembly will help with population profiling and solve social economic securities. He also says the proposal is better than the blanket ban being enforced in some states. Meanwhile, residents in Calabar, the state capital, have commended the move to legalize street trading. They're happy to have a bill that will protect their rights, allowing them to be free of their wares without being intimidated. It's called the Hawkers Protection Bill. When passed into law, it will only allow adults of 18 years and above in reflective vests to hawk at designated times and locations. Nevertheless, many believe that hawking constitutes a menace, especially where hoodlums hide under its guise to perpetrate crime. And joining us on News Across Nigeria is Channels Television's business editor, Bolson Omofaye, to give his perspective, or another perspective on this issue. Do you think it's worth it for the governor to go as far as making it so legal? What are the implications? Sorry, I also wanted to ask you, does that take away from the business atmosphere in Cross River State? People that should rent shops are going to just say, okay, I can do it on the streets.
I think a few parameters or guidelines being given out provide some comfort. But if you look at it from a broad economic and business perspective, I think it would be good for a state like Cross River, known for tourism, and this is my personal opinion, not to allow it to take place. In the first instance, the people you're referring to are Nigerians who are in informal economy. They are people who need their daily bread, as you want to put it here. But then there are a lot of dangers and issues involved. You need to deal with environmental issues. For example, we all know in the cities like Lagos, when road users wind down the glass and they buy perhaps a piece of sweet or a piece of confectionery, whatever, they just open it up and out of the window goes the wrapper. So you have to get people to start picking up. You have to start getting the state dirty, or the city in Cross River State dirty. Again, wearing reflective vests is good, but again, there are other issues you need to deal with. Drivers will have to be a lot more careful, because now you're going to have people who will be sneaking around traffic, trying to convince motorists to buy their wares. Then there's also the environmental nuisance of knocking or banging on.
We get what the governor is trying to do. I get it, Mr. Ben Ayade. You're going to generate, these people are self-employed. They're going to get people off the street or onto the streets, but this time in a legal fashion. But what is the fallout?
You need to take people off the streets. Now, I can't imagine this, that you putting people on the streets. We should be taking them off the streets. And how do you take them off the streets? The government can make what you call shops or retail outlets for these individuals, build mass market, that this set of Nigerians can repay the cost of leasehold or rent over a 10, 15, 20-year period. You're going to get more tax from this set of Nigerians if you organize them. What you're doing now is organizing people on the street rather than organizing them off the street.
Because the problem is they will say that they don't have access to renting shops.
So government owns the land. Government can work with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commercial banks and build these huge facilities and let it to them at about 1,500 per month and say the repayment period is 10 years or 20 years or 15 years. It's a long-term thing. You're cultivating people. Now, hold on a second. Once you set up these shops, they're going to pay for electricity bill, which improves revenue. You're going to collect tax from them. They're going to make sure that they pay for utilities like water, like toilets and other things. You're making security better for people. Don't forget, whatever reflective vest they wear, if they are knocked down by motorists, you're going to put motorists' life also in danger and get them into legal issue. It may be criminal, as the case may be. So you put in a lot of things in jeopardy and under some measure of stress by allowing citizens to go on the street rather than taking them off the streets. We need to attack this from the bottom of the grassroots, where really the problem is. If they can't afford shops to rent, do mass shops built for them and let them repay over 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Don't sell them shops for 1.5 million or 5 million and ask them to pay in 12 months. They can't afford that. Since the government is not going to pay for land, you can do what you call the market development bond and do a 5 billion naira, 3 billion naira bond, build shops at affordable rates and for a tenor that will be long enough for these individuals to pay at 1,000 naira per month. When you collect people, you're dealing with many social issues at once. You're making sure it's possible. Again, look at if you have this 100, 200, 5,000 shops, you're going to sell insurance to them. It makes it easy to sell insurance. So insurance companies go there, as well. Educating them, financial inclusion. It makes it a lot better.
And let's see.
They're setting them on the street.
It's not a law yet, so still a ways before we see whether it does.
What the Parliament, what the House of Assembly will do. It does become
a law, but we certainly see the intention and the motive.
Yes, the intentions.
The intentions are right. Thank you, Boastin Omofai, Channels Television's a business editor. You're watching News Across Nigeria. When we come back, the Ogun State government and its beautification project, which has begun.